Have you ever stopped and wondered what's really pulling the strings behind your emotions? Well, today, we're diving deep into the invisible forces that pretty much run the show every single day, your brain's feel-good trio. We're talking about dopamine, serotonin, and endorphins.
I mean, really think about it for a second. What's behind that incredible rush you get when you finally finish a big project? Or that feeling of just pure calm on a quiet afternoon? It's not some kind of magic. It's actually a super complex chemical ballet happening inside your head. And today, we are pulling back the curtain to show you exactly how it all works.
So what are these things? Well, they're called neurotransmitters. The best way to think of them is as your brain's personal couriers, little chemical messengers just zipping between your nerve cells, carrying all the instructions that control, well, everything you feel and do.
And that's the key right there. These tiny molecules are at the very heart of how you experience the world, from joy and motivation right down to pain relief. They're literally the building blocks of your entire emotional life.
All right, so let's meet the cast, shall we? We've got three main players on our stage today. Each one has a very distinct personality and a super important job to do. Think of them as the star performers in your brain's daily show.
First up, we have dopamine, the ultimate go-getter. This is the chemical of wanting, of pursuit, of reward. It's made deep inside the brain, and it's what gives you that yes feeling of pleasure when you get something done. And here's a fun fact. When your dopamine is low, that's when that, I'll do it later, feeling of procrastination can creep in. It's all about that drive.
Next, let's talk about serotonin, our Zen master. Now, if dopamine is the thrill of the chase, serotonin is that quiet, happy feeling of just being. It gives you that stable foundation of calm and well-being. And get this is where it gets absolutely wild. While it's crucial for your brain, about 90% of your body's serotonin is actually made in your gut.
And rounding out our amazing trio, we have the first responders, endorphins. Their name is basically short for endogenous morphine, which tells you pretty much everything you need to know. When you're stressed or hurt, they swoop in like a rescue team to dull the pain and can even trigger a wave of euphoria. They're incredibly powerful, but unlike serotonin's lasting calm, their effect is a huge, potent burst that doesn't last very long.
Okay, so this table lays it all out perfectly. You can see how different but also how complementary their roles are. Dopamine is all about short bursts of motivation triggered by goals. Serotonin gives you that long-term stability, and it's sustained by things like getting out in the sun. And then you've got endorphins, giving you those sharp peaks of relief from exercise or even a good laugh. It's a perfect system, right? Dopamine drives you, serotonin satisfies you, and endorphins protect you.
But here's the thing, and this is where it gets really fascinating. These chemicals are not solo artists, not at all. They're part of a full orchestra, constantly interacting in what you could call a dynamic chemical symphony. And this is a perfect example of that teamwork in action. Brand new research shows that when you get a surge of dopamine, it can actually turn up the volume on your serotonin signals by hitting these specific receptors. It's just this beautiful, elegant mechanism that helps balance our motivation with our mood, making sure that our drive to achieve doesn't totally steamroll our sense of well-being.
But, it's not always about teamwork. Sometimes it's more like a healthy debate. A recent paper showed how dopamine is the one screaming, "Go, get that reward now," while serotonin is the calm voice that hits the brakes, saying, "Hang on, let's think about the long term here." This constant push and pull is actually essential for helping us make smart, adaptive decisions.
So, here's the big takeaway, the most important part of all of this. You are not just a passenger along for this chemical ride. The science is crystal clear that we can actively, consciously influence these levels with our day-to-day choices. Let's just take exercise, for example. It is an absolute powerhouse for your brain. This chart shows a really significant drop in depression symptoms from just adding in exercise. In fact, a huge analysis found that regular physical activity can be just as effective as antidepressants, simply because it gives a boost to all three of our feel-good chemicals.
Let's circle back to this number because it's mind-boggling, 90%. This just hammers home the incredible connection between your gut and your brain. What you eat literally provides the raw materials to produce our Zen master chemical. It's such a powerful reminder that your mental and physical health are just fundamentally linked.
Okay, so what can you actually do? Here's your toolkit, and every single one of these is backed by solid university research. A simple 20-minute walk outside can boost both serotonin and dopamine.
Eating foods rich in tryptophan, like bananas, gives your body the stuff it needs to make serotonin. And making time for friends, that can trigger a really powerful endorphin release. These are simple things with profound chemical results.
So, after hearing all that, you might be thinking, okay, which one's the winner? Which is the best one to have? Well, it turns out that's actually the wrong question to be asking. It's not about picking a favorite.
As this quote, which is based on tons of research, really hits the nail on the head, context is king. Dopamine is fantastic for getting you off the couch, and endorphins are absolutely critical for dealing with pain. But for that day-in, day-out emotional resilience, that sustained feeling of contentment, the research consistently points to serotonin as the true cornerstone of our well-being.
You know, you can actually see this search for balance in the way the science itself has evolved. We went from discovering endorphins back in the 70s to this huge focus on serotonin in the 90s, and now in the 2020s, it's all about understanding the holistic synergy. We've learned it's not about one magic bullet, it's about the health of the entire system working together.
So, at the end of the day, you have way more influence than you might think. Your daily actions, what you eat, how you move, the people you connect with, those are the notes. You are the conductor of your brain's chemical symphony. The only question left is, what kind of masterpiece are you going to create?
Everything we talked about today was built on the research and insights from the fantastic article, The Chemistry of Contentment by Jared Kanize. And hey, if you're a curious person who loves to discover more amazing stories just like this one, straight from the source of university research, you should definitely check out academicjobs.com. There is a whole world of knowledge just waiting there for you.